North Yakima High School, which was renamed Davis High School in 1957, began classes in 1884. It was housed in the Columbia Building. By 1896, the school's enrollment reached 40 students and classes were relocated to the Central School Building. With an ever-increasing student body, in 1900, the school was once again relocated to the Lincoln School. In 1905, land was procured on South 7th Avenue in Walnut, with plans to build a new, larger high school. The Lincoln School burned on January 6, 1907, and the high school took up temporary residence at the Methodist Church on 4th Street. The new school building, which began construction in 1905, was completed in 1908. The new building cost $84,980, had 23 classrooms, and increased capacity to 690 students. Angus Charles Davis served as principal from 1908 through 1913 and was superintendent until 1947. In 1978, after an extensive 13-year remodeling program which cost upwards of $5 million, the Yakima High School was rededicated as Davis High School in honor of its early principal and longtime superintendent. One of the keynote speakers at the school's rededication was Kathy Douglas Stone, wife of the U.S. Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas, who is perhaps Davis's most notable alumni. Douglas, who played on the basketball team and was valedictorian of his graduating class, went on to teach English at North Yakima High School before pursuing his dream of being a lawyer and, ultimately, a Supreme Court judge. In May 2009, a $114 million bond was approved by Yakima voters to remodel and renovate area schools. Davis was allocated $42 million of that bond money, plus another $42 million in state matching funds, to refurbish the school. The groundbreaking ceremony was held on November 1, 2012.
If I could have our guests just start coming in. We have some chairs for some of our guests. We could just have you start rolling in here. Well, it's a little after 10, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, good morning and welcome to Davis High School. My name is Ben Ramirez. I'm the proud principal of AC Davis High School, and I want to welcome all of you to today's groundbreaking ceremony signifying the beginning of renovation of our high school. I want to thank school board members, school officials, staff, community, and I really want to especially thank all the students that are here. So thanks all the Davis kids. As a principal, I want to take a special recognition and extend a special welcome to the very first AC Davis High School principal, Mr. Don Davidson, up here in the front. So please welcome Mr. Don Davidson. We met last year, and he was the very first principal to be in that office. I will be the very last principal to be in that office, and I want to thank you for being here today. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Megumi Demond, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, the flag is right behind. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Demond. At this time, would like to turn over all responsibilities and duties over to Dr. Jack Arian. Thank you.
I'm not sure what Ben meant by that. Megumi, thank you very much for leading us in the pledge this morning. We appreciate that. And Ben, I want to thank you for your opening remarks, but really more importantly, I'd like to thank Ben for his outstanding leadership at Davis High School. On behalf of the Yakima School District, I would like to welcome everyone here today to this ceremony. And when you look throughout our district today, you see a recently constructed Stanton Academy, You see construction going on at Eisenhower High School, at YB Tech Skills Center, and here we are today at Davis High School. We know that when this project here is complete, the Yakima School District will indeed have 4 quality facilities for our high school students in the Yakima School District. And I'd like to say to each and every one of you here who's played any kind of role whatsoever in any of those building projects, on behalf of our students, thank you, thank you, thank you. It takes a lot of people to make that happen, and we thank you very much. Just as this process began with the school board years ago, when they decided to put a bond measure before our voters, today we're also going to begin with a member of the school board. It's my pleasure to introduce our current school board president, Martha Rice.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you all for being here. This is a wonderful turnout for a really momentous day. When we passed the bond back in 2009, this point in time seems so far away, and here we are. But I want to take a moment just to not only to welcome you, to welcome Mr. Peterson and Dr. McLaughlin, both previous principals at this school, and former board members, friends, community members, parents, and especially the students who were here when I got here, so I know that they're probably looking for a nice warm place to be right now. But you all are very representative of our community, and what we know about Yakima is when the community sees a need, they come together. They come together to support that need, and that's what happened back in 2009. That's what happens every time in this community. A need arises, someone says we need help, we need materials, we need supplies, we need people. People come forward in our community, and this, for me, is the best thing about Yakima. That people see a need, they recognize that need, they step forward and say, how can I help? They don't ask anything from us, they just want to help. And so a big thank you and shout out to the community for the ability for us to be here today to make a difference for the next however many years. Dr. Brotha keeps saying 75. That we will have students at AC Davis High School in a brand new state-of-the-art facility that the community can be proud of, that the students will learn well in, and that the teachers will enjoy teaching in. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Martha. You know, as it is with any building project within a school district, the superintendent does indeed play a critical role. At the start of this particular project, it was then Superintendent Ben Soria who provided that leadership that resulted in the community support. Now, it's our current superintendent who is providing that same outstanding leadership as we move forward with these projects. It is my pleasure to introduce our current superintendent, Dr. Elaine Baratha.
Wow, good morning. We didn't need the tent, but in being well prepared, we have the tent. Perhaps if we hadn't had the tent, it would have poured. But I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this joyous occasion. I'd like to take an opportunity to recognize a few guests with us today. I saw Senator Curtis King in the audience. Thank you for joining us. Representative Norm Johnson. And I also would like to recognize the two former principals, Bob McLaughlin and also Don Davidson. And I think that Don helped move into this building when it was first constructed. And I believe that if he would be able to tell Ben all the things he really knew, Ben would in fact probably quake in his boots, because moving into a building in fact is a formidable task. But you were the first to sit in the office, and I think Ben's already the last because they've moved him to portables. I'd like to also recognize Steve Myers, our ESD 105 superintendent. Thank you for coming. And a special thanks to the Yakima School Board of Directors. You guys are amazing. All of you are here today, and it's with a great deal of pride that you attend this ceremony, because in fact your fingerprints are all over the projects. And a big thank you to the A.C. Davis Band. Good job, guys. Thank you so much. As Jack mentioned, we're on the home stretch. This is the last project. Not last because it's least, but simply because it's last in chronological order. When the A.C. Davis High School project is finished, every student in the Yakima School District will attend the 21st century school. And for this we have to thank the community for paying it forward. And I think, I use the word 75 years, or the time 75 years, but it's certainly well over half a century. And it's a time when none of us will probably see, so it's a long time in the future. But thinking of the future and seeing the kids' shirts, you also have to go back to the past. Prior to A.C. Davis High School, North Yakima High School, I think it was called the Castle. I think I can see why by looking at those shirts. Was rebuilt near this location following a fire in 1908. To be replaced by A.C. Davis High School 55 years ago in 1957. The school was named for A.C. Davis, who was a principal of North Yakima High School from 1909 to 1913, and he served as a superintendent from 1913 to 1947. He left this school district 65 years ago, and I wonder what he would think if he could be here with us today. I often imagine that. His namesake remains, but it grows and it becomes even more amazing. I'd like to mention now I just want to thank our partners in this endeavor. Superintendents don't actually build schools or design schools or have anything to do with that. We just simply get to enjoy the work of others. But we're really proud to have our partners, Looper Wetch, as our architects, and our close partners on this project. They've designed a campus that will be inspiring and functional while preserving the timeless beauty and the history of this school. We're already calling it the Harvard of Yakima, rightly so. I'd also like to thank our CM, Heath Gardner, who is with, I think it's Wenha, I always get the name wrong, but Heath is here, and Heath's job during this project is to be the owner's extra set of eyes to assist us in having a quality facility. We're really pleased to have Absher Construction to build our schools and join our team. I'd like to remind the construction company that the labor of your minds and your hands will serve generations for time to come. And probably one of the most important things, I think, projects that you've ever done. I know Absher will have their A-team on this project, and they will be partners in the work as we walk into the future. This building project was student-centered and it's forward-thinking. These buildings will define 21st century learning environment that will serve Davis students. This campus will be safe and it will be secure, and it will have modern infrastructure. We know that buildings alone do not dictate growth and tremendous achievement, but rather instead it's the students and the staff at A.C. Davis who make that happen. Davis High School has shown in every area that they in fact exceed and excel, from the music programs to the athletic programs to the academic programs. But with these new and modernized buildings, they will have an enhanced sense of having a wonderful learning environment that they so deserve. When completed, the campus will be a beacon for this entire community in a downtown setting. The design allows for possibilities that none of us this morning can fully appreciate, but that students for years to come will learn to enjoy and respect. So we shoveled the dirt today to begin the construction, and we renew our sense of identity and pride as Davis Pirates. And what do you say? I didn't hear any pirate sounds. That was weak. That was weak. Okay, one more time. I'll give you the line. And we renew our sense of identity and pride as Davis Pirates. All right. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Elaine. Next we're going to have the unveiling of the sign, and it's my pleasure to introduce our construction and planning principal, Mr. Jim Wright, who in turn will introduce some key players who will help him with the unveiling of the sign. Jim?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Arian. I would like to introduce a group of people who are, they're kind of bashful. We'll have to make sure they get up into the forefront, but I've truly enjoyed working with these folks for the last 2 years, and we have many more years to go. To begin with, I'd like to introduce Chuck Doan, the Director of Maintenance, who is the expert eyes and ears and make sure that we get the building built correctly. So as I call your name, if you'll come up by the sign between the shovels and the big drape. And if you don't come up, I'll wait for you to come up. There we go. Next, I'd like to introduce Heath Gardner from Winhog Group. And then our architects and contractors. To begin with, Gary Wetch from Louthborough Wetch Architects. Next we have David Peterson, and we have Colby Ricks. We have Brian Pibble, Kyle Lepper, Carol Brandt, Chris Scrum, Jerry Steiner. Jerry will wait for you. Come on. Okay. And Susan Martinez. And finally, our contractors who will be building this beautiful facility. From Absher Construction, Dan Absher, John Vandervate, and Don Blair. So as soon as everyone is up there, I can't quite see around the curtain. I wish I had a big bus and say move that bus, but we don't. So gentlemen and ladies, please unveil the sign.
I was asked to speak because some of you know that all 3 of my children attended Davis, graduating in 1992, 97, and 2006 respectively. For 18 years I volunteered in all of the little nooks and crannies of the Davis facility for various special projects and fundraisers, and as parent support for the staff and the students whom I care very, very much about. I know that old campus very well, and my children felt incredibly privileged to receive such a fine education at Davis. All 3 are pursuing their vocational and academic goals and their dreams, and they're doing so because the staff and the student body and the academic programs at this school prepared them well for the diversity and the challenges of a very big world beyond Yakima. But even back in '88, when I first started at Davis, I could see that there were facility needs that had to be addressed. And Davis, as many of our other schools, was eventually in that lineup of programs that we wanted to phase construction bonds to. The AC Davis campus holds a special place in the hearts of many folks in Yakima, in this community's heart. First is the former North Yakima, and then as the AC Davis High School. Some citizens even felt that the brick structure was fine as it is, it shouldn't be touched, it was sacred ground. But I feel certain that many of those same folks will be really pleased to see the outcome of the new bond and the facility as it will be built. This landlocked downtown school will finally have a safer, more defined and enclosed campus with modernized infrastructure that's been addressed, telecommunications, technology, and security systems. All of that is going to make it easier to monitor our students, who after all are the whole reason the building exists, and to provide more efficient, comfortable learning environments for staff and students. The teaching spaces will be expanded in number, modernized, and an additional building over here will be connected by a sky bridge to the campus and make it possible to eliminate all of those portable spaces. The special education students will finally have a new bright, self-contained corner of the campus which will make it easier for them to come and go and have a world of their own within the larger space they enjoy so much with the student body. And the public will find it much easier to find the main offices and the gymnasia and to access them and have parking nearby, which we've heard about for decades. Some of the current Davis will be identifiable in the integration, and my hat's off to the designers. The new design offers a union of traditional, distinguished architectural references with contemporary glass spaces in a completely modernized and unified campus. It's a closed campus concept that will still feel open and flowing for the students. Today is a day to celebrate, and there are some folks who should be here that can't be, that have gone before us, and I know that they're here in spirit and would want us to celebrate this special building as well. Thank you, most of all, on behalf of everyone involved in the Yakima School District and the Bond Committee and the folks that supported this project, to our property owners for once again supporting our young people. As a Yakima citizen, I am proud to be part of a community that, no matter how economically challenged we are, and there isn't equity across the state yet, but we're working on it, always thoughtfully and responsibly supports the basic needs of our public schools and our young minds. We're excited to see this day finally arrive as we break ground for the final of the 3 high school projects that will offer all Yakima's children, now elementary through high school, modern, safe, and efficient new facilities. But let's never forget what we're here about. The future of Yakima is all of these guys, and the other students who are in the building, and the students to come, and their children, and their grandchildren. The future of Yakima is walking the halls of the schools, and we'll be walking the halls and the classrooms of the new school. Many of these students will protect our community, repair your homes, finance your businesses, keep you from going to jail, grow your food, fly your planes, fix your cars, save your lives, take care of your elderly relatives, and teach your children and grandchildren. I hope they dream big, and I hope they realize that hard work and the opportunities the staff and the Yakima School District gives them can help them reach their goals, no matter how big. They deserve the best education we can provide for them, and we all benefit from their success. We also benefit economically, socially, and aesthetically from the new and improved school campuses across our city that will add to the list of reasons we can all be proud to live in Yakima. Let's hear it for Yakima.
Thank you very much, Barbara. It's now time for the final event, Turning of the Dirt. I need to put to bed a rumor here very quickly, however. Some folks thought that maybe with the volume of dirt that will be turned here today, the construction costs would actually be cut by more than $1 million. I need to say that won't happen today. On a serious note, this particular ceremony and this particular event does symbolize the beginning of construction here at Davis High School. Would the following folks please attend the shovel up there? And at a particular cue, you'll have an opportunity to turn some dirt. We'll begin with our current school board members, beginning with our president, Martha Rice, vice president, John Gornbrock, board member, Raymond Navarro Jr., board member, Walt Franta, board member, Graciela Villanueva, and our superintendent, Dr. Elaine Barak.
On 3, until they turn that dirt. Ready to begin.
Our next group, they'll have an opportunity to turn dirt. I'd like to have the Davis High School administrative team come forward, led by Principal Ben Ramirez, Bob Stanley, Kathy Gonzalez, Ron Daniel, and Lorenzo Alvarado.
She's gonna try to do this one.
Yeah.
Mr. Stanley will get the
Holes get a little deeper each time. Our next group will have an opportunity to help with the moving of dirt here today. Barbara Greenberg, former school board member and president. Paul Larson, co-chair of the Community Bond Committee. Scott Azutsu, assistant superintendent for financial services in the Yakima School District. Cease Mayer, associate superintendent for teaching and learning in the Yakima School District. Jim Wright, construction and planning principal. And Dr. Jack Perry.
Okay, is the group ready? Ready, begin. Shovel.
Now pose.
the heels.
Two more groups. We're going to hit that $1 million landmark here yet. Represent our architects and contractors. Will the following folks please come forward? Jerry Wetch, Colby Ricks, David Peterson, Ryan Tipo, Kyle Lepper, and contractors Dan Absher and John Vanderbilt.
Do it on three.
1, 2, 3.
And finally, our final group, I'd like to introduce some folks who are the rightful owners of the Davis High School, and that's members of the student body. Senior class President Erica Duran, MENTA Representative Esperanza Ortega, representing the band, Aureliano Rivera, from the Interact Club, Stephanie Rodriguez, representing the choir, drama, orchestra, Sergio Valdez, and representing career technical education, Alexander Watson.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Take it. You're giving it back.
As you can imagine, we are very excited about the facility transformation that will be taking place here at Davis High School. I want to thank you for being with us here today, and that concludes today's session.
Orange shirt. Give up behind the shovel, by the sign. Yes!
What are we doing?
Picture, go. Orange shirt. I'm going to do him separate 15 minutes. So don't test if I do John. Can you tell him? Okay, you got it. Go! Orange shirt, everybody.